Okay, another video helping you practice matching equations with line graphs. So as you look at these equations, I picked one thing to keep constant. Do you see what that is? Right? Keep this plus 3 term constant. That's associated with this b term here, which if you remember is our y-intercept. So the only thing that changes between these 6 equations is the m value, the slope. So in your head, try to visualize what these set of 6 line graphs will look like, and hopefully you're able to see something like this, right? So here we have 6 different lines. They all intercept the y-axis at plus 3, right? So we can't use the y-axis to help us distinguish between these 6 lines, but we can use the slopes to help us distinguish that, right? So if you want to try that for yourself, click pause and try that. And then once you're done, check in and I'll walk through the process I use to help determine this. Okay, hopefully you had a chance to at least take a look at which ones that you think are associated. So again, what I would do is take a look at which slopes are positive, which slopes are 0, and which slopes are negative. And then at least we can group them. So I don't see any 0 slope curves. If there was one, it would be horizontal line at plus 3. We don't see that. But I do see 4 positive slopes, right? A, B, C, and D. And then I have 2 negative slopes, E and F. What you can also determine is as you go from left to right, the slope gets steeper, right? Remember, slope is defined as rise over run. Or you think of this as a hill. If you're walking up this line A is going to be less steep than line D, right? And then there's also similar idea can be associated with negative slopes, right? The line E slope is going to be a larger negative value, right? So steeper going downhill than line F would be. All right, so we can just, without counting, assuming that we know that these lines are associated with these equations, just figure out which is our steepest positive value for our slope and associate that with D. So if I look, I have a 2x, I have a 5x, a 3x, and if it just says x, that's equivalent to 1x. So 5x is the steepest. So that's going to be D. Next steep is C, and so that's going to be 3x term. And then bx is going to be 2. Or sorry, line B will be 2x plus 3. And then line 6 will be associated with A. And so you can see, again, we did not count, and we can count in a second, to make sure that the slopes match up. But we're going to do the same thing first with lines E and F. They're going to be associated with either equation 2 or equation 4, which have our negative slopes. So like we said, the slope in line E is going to be, from a negative perspective, larger. So that's negative 2x plus 3. And then slope for line F is going to be a little bit shallower. So that's associated with negative x plus 3. All right, so it would be a good idea now, before we end this video, to check that the slopes do match, right? We already know that all of them intersect the y-axis at 0.3, y equals 3, so that is correct. So we need to just check the slopes. So if I check line 1, it should have a slope of positive 2. We said it's associated with line B. Just pick a point, right? Let's pick where it intersects the x-axis. And rise over run is definition of slope, right? So to go up 2 cells for y, go right 1 cell for the x-axis. So that matches. All right, let's take a look at equation 2, which should have a slope of negative 1. So let's see, we associate that with line F. So if I choose, let's see, let's again start the x-axis is a nice point. So go down one, go right one. So rise over run. -1 going down on y, +1 going to the right for x. That that matches. For equation 3, we have 5 for a slope, +5 for a slope. So that's associated with this green line D. So if I start at, let's see, what is a good point? -2 for the y, and that will be -2 for the x. So I go rise over run. So I go up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then to the right one, that's my slope of 5. So that matches. Equation 4 is associated with line E. That should have a slope of -2. So let's see, let's pick a point across the x-axis. Go down 2, 1, 2, go to the right 1. So that matches. And then let's do the last two equations. For equation 5, we have a slope of 3. So that's associated with line C. So let's pick this point right here. Let's go up 3, 1, 2, 3. And then let's run to the positive x-axis, or positive x direction, 1. So that counts, or that matches as 3. And then finally, for a slope of 1, equation 6 is associated with line A. It goes up 1 to the right 1, right? So you can see that you can check very carefully what the slopes and y-intercepts are, or you can just look at it on a relative scale if you know your lines and equations match directly. So we'll take a look at a couple more examples like this, but hopefully you're seeing a pattern and you're getting good practice with these.